All right, Lowe's 2618 customer Gann. Just wanted to show you the kitchen and some of the things that the customer is going to be changing. First of all, start with this wall here, easiest wall, straight run. That door does swing against this wall, and it's a 32-inch slab door. So make sure that in the design process, we're not going to be any closer than the swing of the door arc. I do have that on the drawing. But some of the measurements on this wall I've given you are for where this heater is on the wall. There's 18 inches from the edge of this molding to the edge of the heater, and I think the actual heater is 15.5 inches wide. He would rather leave it if he had to, so that way he doesn't have to do any wall repair. But if he needs to move it, it's part of the deal. So need to tell him whether that is going to be in the way. Same thing on this wall. You have the two pantries here, and you've got the actual coffee bar area in the middle. So this plug here that's down low will have to be moved up to the counter height. That is something we can do for the customer if they want to have us do that light electrical. It's just plug removal and replace. So that's no problem. We can do that. If the customer wants to add additional plugs or something, you just need to talk to them about what the scope of that electrical needs to be for us to do it when we do the cabinet work. Now turn the corner here. I want to show you on this wall from the corner of the room over here to the door jamb is a certain length on the drawing. But if you take a look, there's a double switch right here. That switch center line is 48 inches off the floor, which is normal height. If this is going to be a freestanding stove, then that switch will not be a problem. The extra 7 3/4 inches or whatever that's here, that's going to be part of your cabinet layout, will not be an issue if the switches are underneath. The problem would be is if we're going to cut that switch in half with the actual cabinets. So if you're going to be doing tile backsplashes or something, you want your cabinets to come about where the green handle is on that, real close to the door trim, so that your tile will actually cover where the switches are on the wall. You don't want your cabinets to stop center of that switch, and then your actual backsplash tiles won't look right. So make sure that when you're designing this, that you're just a couple of inches off the door trim, maybe 3 inches off the door trim, or at 7 3/4 inches back behind the switches, so a backsplash tile won't be a problem. Now, as far as I can tell, these two appliances are probably on the same circuit, so they have a single pulled 40 amp that runs them. This is very typical for this year model of home. Because of that, the customer is going to need to check and see if his aluminum wiring for that is going to be able to hold a 50 amp circuit for a freestanding stove. This again is not going to be something that Lowe's does. This will be something the customer has to verify independently, and then also if he has to mediate that, he'll have to hire an electrician or someone to pull a new wire. We don't do any of those types of electrical changes. Now the center line of the vent hood up here is 48 inches from the left hand side, but that would not be the center line of your stove. Your stove center line probably somewhere around 54 inches or so on this wall. And again, that's going to be electrical changes and some stuff like that the customer will have to have done separately. A couple things to note here, and this is typical. You see all the spices and stuff here. The customer definitely wants to have some type of cabinetry for those spices to be put away. Maybe a spice rack on the back of a door or something like this. The corner in this one is actually a 90-degree corner, and they looked at a wall easy reach in one of the other videos that I have. That or an angle corner would work fine, but it's according to how close the stove is to the corner as to whether you want a corner wall angle cabinet. And then also notice that there's zero margin on both sides of the window. The cabinets that are here now come all the way to the edges of the window trim, and the sink of course is on the center of that. So they're going to be moving the refrigerator to the left about 30 inches or so from where it's at now, and that's going to give them the room they need here for a dishwasher. But dishwashers are home run circuits. They do not use 110 volts off of an existing circuit. They need to be pulled as a separate appliance circuit. Again, that'll be an electrician or some third party that'll pull the wiring for that. But right here is where there's going to be a change in the wall. Customer's taking out the old inboard unit here, the wall unit AC, and then you can see here where there's some water damage below that. They're going to be repairing that water damage and getting rid of that circuit. That's the way that they're going to actually pull the refrigerator down closer to the door. But we don't want the refrigerator to come all the way to the door trim. We definitely want to be about an inch or inch and a half away from the door trim so that we have plenty of room for the crown return and anything else we're going to do up above that. Now the island that's here now, all of the island and peninsula that's here is going to be going. It looks like the floor is underneath it. That's what they're telling me, is the floor has been put under. But if you look, there's a footprint here on the flooring for the other areas here. If you're going to do a freestanding stove there will be a flooring patch, or there'll be no flooring underneath that cooktop because of the freestanding stove sits in a hole. It doesn't have a space for that flooring to be underneath it. So someone will have to repair that after we're done with the cabinets. Otherwise, the footprint will remain the same as far as the new cabinets go. Make sure we order a quarter round for this, of course, to match the cabinets. You can see that beautiful white quarter round there up against a brown cabinet. That doesn't look good, and so it's always better to have matching quarter round. Extra touch-up kits in the color of the cabinetry. Make sure we have additional moldings that are cut-to-length moldings, and make sure we have our magic filler, our 642 magic filler. I think that's pretty much it for this one. If you have any questions about this, please give me a call at 423-650-1051. Have a great day.